Hi everyone, I'm Shelly from There's No Place Like Home at redheadmom8.wordpress.com. The other day I shared with you our relaxed homeschool approach for kindergarten, first, second, and third grade. And today I'm going to share with you our curriculum-free relaxed homeschool approach to language arts for 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grades. Now, I don't have a child in each one of those grades right now, but it is the same method that we use for all of those grades. This upcoming year, which we will actually be starting our new homeschool year on July 17th, but we will actually have kids in 4th, 5th, 6th, and 8th grade. So actually the only one we won't have a child in this year is 7th grade. So with language arts, it is comprised of spelling, writing, vocabulary, literature, reading, phonics, grammar. I don't know if I've forgotten anything, but it's really comprised of a bunch of different topics, all put under the umbrella term of language arts. And oftentimes what a lot of homeschooling families do is they approach it in quite the same way that schools do. They use a separate curriculum for each one of these little subtopics. In our homeschool, I have found that is completely unnecessary if you approach learning in a more organic way. And I'm going to show you how to approach language arts without using any curriculum at all. Now, I will tell you that I did use a spelling curriculum for the longest time. And to be honest, my kids' spelling didn't improve at all. And all that I really noticed with the spelling curriculum was that it was really making them frustrated. They really didn't like doing it. So after I started reading up a lot on the Charlotte Mason method, now I am not a complete Charlotte Mason homeschooler. I'm more eclectic. I take a lot of different homeschool philosophies into our homeschool. But I really like the Charlotte Mason approach to copywork, which is a huge part of how we homeschool language arts, yes, even in 4th through 8th grade. So what copywork is you just take some sort of passage or a verse or some sort of literature that is written well, and you ask your child to write it exactly as it is written. Now, my children worked through Shel Silverstein's A Light in the Attic this year, and they'll actually be continuing that this year because they didn't finish it. So what they do is they copy the Shel Silverstein poems, and while they're doing that, that is actually helping them with their grammar because they are seeing proper sentence structure, they are seeing punctuation. It is helping them with their spelling because it is seeing words. They are seeing words that are actually spelled properly. And again, it is helping with their writing, again, with all of the sentence structure that they're seeing. And you don't have to use just poetry. You can even just use regular books. We have used Bible verses already. Anything that is written well. You don't want to take something that is kind of a lower quality writing to have your children do copywork with. But if you take something that is really good literature, it's going to help your kids to see a good model for what writing is supposed to look like. So this is actually a great way to approach all of those areas of language arts is copywork. Now, that's not the only thing that we do. That is just one of the things that we do is copywork. And again, it is such a great help with spelling and grammar and writing structure. I really recommend that you do it. And it is so relaxed. In a relaxed homeschool, of course it will be. It's simple. It's natural. How many times when your kids were little have you seen them copying things? My kids used to copy things out of books, or I would see them copying the words off of cereal boxes. And that's something that comes naturally to most kids. And really, it doesn't require any sort of effort on their part other than concentrating on what it is that they're doing. So they're really focusing all of their attention on making sure that they are writing everything exactly as it is supposed to be. And when they are seeing these things over and over and over again, they start getting it into their head that this is what writing is supposed to look like. This is where commas go. This is where quotation marks go. So again, I really recommend that. Now, when it comes to grammar with nouns and verbs and adjectives, now first of all, let me just say that they really start grammar very early on in school. And it doesn't take 12, 13 years to learn what a noun is or an adjective or a verb. And yes, when you get up into high school, there are more difficult things than just nouns and verbs and so on. But at this point, the only thing that we really do to help with grammar at this time, not grammar as in punctuation, but grammar as in the parts of speech and such, what we do is with our unit studies, a lot of times I will write sentences for the kids and I'll say to them, okay, I want you to underline the verbs, I want you to circle the nouns, put a rectangle around the adjectives, and so on. And if they don't know what that is, I'll tell them, if they say, Mom, I forgot what an adjective is, it's a word that describes a noun. And then you can always write that on the board, if you have a whiteboard or a blackboard, for your kids to copy down, or at least to see that visually. That's a huge help. Another great help is Mad Libs. Now, we haven't done those in a while, but Mad Libs used to be huge in our house. And if your kids are regularly doing Mad Libs, trust me, they're going to know what those are. Mad Libs, they put in interjections and exclamations. They go all out. And that's a really fun way for your kids to learn what they are. And it's not work to them in that way. Now, another thing that we do is when it comes to vocabulary, my children do notebooking also, and that is also a huge part of their language arts because notebooking is writing. So what we do is when we were doing our Beautiful Feet curriculum, they actually had to look words up each day and they had to write them in a glossary. So again, you have words that they are learning what they mean, how to spell them. There's no curriculum, though, that you need to do this. They don't need to do this in a workbook. You can literally find words out of books maybe that you're reading for read-alouds, or you could have them write down words that they don't understand or that they don't know how to spell in their own silent reading books, and you could comprise your own vocabulary list just from that. And this really helps. Now, what we did was my kids would each look up maybe 2 words. I would assign, since 3 of my kids at that point were doing Beautiful Feet together, I would assign maybe 2 or 3 words to each child. They would look it up on their phones because I prefer books, but we're in 2017 now and most people use the dictionaries on the phone, so that's what I let them do. But what they would do is they would look up their word. They would tell me the definition. I would write it on the whiteboard. After each child told me their word and definition, they would all sit down and copy this together. And it really worked out well for us. So notebooking is a really great way. Again, your child is taking those skills that they've learned with the copy work, with the punctuation, and with the capitalization, and everything that they've seen in their copy work and all of the good models that they've been following. They can actually put that into their own writing now. And that's where the notebooking comes in. So my kids have been working through animal notebooks, and that's what they do now. They are using everything that they've learned and making their own little notebooks out of them. And this doesn't have to be just little essays and compositions. As you can see, my kids do comic strips. They do captions for pictures. They've already done, I think, vocabulary lists, or at least, no, not vocabulary lists, fact sheets. Like they've done fact sheets of the animals. But what they're doing is they're taking what they've learned and they are writing it in this notebook. Now, for the notebook, I do not go through the notebook with a red pen and tell them, you forgot to capitalize this, or a comma belongs there. I really think that when your kids are learning how to write and really getting a sense of what writing is all about, it is so important to let them express themselves and to feel comfortable with writing before you start to bring in all of the correcting. And that's actually another great aspect with copy work, is because when if you notice in your child's copy work that they did not capitalize something or that they missed a comma, it's okay then to tell them that they missed something, because this isn't something that they wrote. This is just something that they copied. And I think there's a difference. When you're correcting something that actually came from their heart compared with just correcting something that they copied, it really does make a difference. So copy work, yeah, it's okay to correct their copy work, and that's actually the best place to do it, in my opinion. Now, that is really all that we do for our language arts in our homeschool. Now, we do a lot of read-alouds. My kids do silent reading. If you see my table shaking, my cat is over here doing all kinds of nutty stuff. So that's what we do. We do silent reading and read alouds also, and we do a lot of our notebooking from that. So, and now I do want to point out though that this upcoming year, my new to be fourth grader, he was, I should say, a late reader. He did not start learning how to read pretty well until about 9 months ago. So he will be continuing on with his phonics, which I'm actually going to show you the inside of that because someone commented in my last video if I could show what this looks like. So there's one page there, and I'll just show some more. And I know that a lot of people don't do phonics in fourth grade, but I'm not one of those people who focuses on grade levels. I focus on what they can do. And I'm also going to have him continue. He's almost finished with this. And you know what, really, we could stop it right now. He's reading well enough that he could stop it right now. But what I'm finding is that this is really helping him with his fluency when he's reading aloud. My son, he does stutter a bit. And I found that when he is reading aloud through this book, it really helps him to learn to slow down his speech, and it's actually helping with his stuttering. So he's not going to be doing these all year. It will just be the beginning of the year until he finishes the two of them. But I just really wanted to bring that up because I don't think that it's important to focus on what grade your child is in and then do the appropriate curriculum for them. You have to focus on your child, not an arbitrary grade level that they're on. So that's really important. Focus on your child. So if you have any questions about our relaxed curriculum-free homeschool approach, that's a mouthful, you can leave a comment, and in a few days I will be sharing our relaxed homeschool approach with our high schoolers. I hope you have a great day.